Diagnosed with a grade 1 left hamstring strain and will be reevaluated in a week. His absence provides a golden opportunity for the Wolves, who lost Game 1 despite Steph exiting in the first half. Meanwhile, Golden State hopes to steal a game to give time for their superstar to return. Perk, I ask you, would it be a disappointment if Anthony Edwards doesn't win the next 3 games with Steph Curry sidelined?
Absolutely, a major disappointment. Not just the next 3 games, but he should take control and win this series. There's no way in hell Anthony Edwards should not be the best player in this series with Steph Curry being out. There's no way in hell that Anthony Edwards should allow Jimmy Butler to come in and outplay him. This is not a knock on Jimmy Butler, but we're talking about a Jimmy that's 36 years of age, I believe it is. A Jimmy Butler still got a lot left in the tank, but he's not Anthony Edwards. And the pieces around him right now, without Golden State having Steph Curry, are better pieces. Julius Randle, Naz Reid, Rudy, Mike Conley. Like, you have a golden opportunity to get back to where you were last year. Hell, I don't just see it. Your coach see it as well. Your coach called you out. Coach Finch, after Game 1, called Anthony Edwards out, which I love, by the way, because he is the heart and soul of this team. He does make this team go. They feed off of his energy. He does give them swag. And so when you look at Anthony Edwards' history, Jokic, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Luka, now you got a Golden State without Steph. You should be the best player, and you should definitely win this series, lead your team to winning this series, advancing to the Western Conference.
Well, let's not think about the series for a second, Perk. Let's just think about the next 3 games, because that's what we're working on based off of the diagnosis that we received that Steph Curry's got a grade 1 sprain, and as a result, he's going to miss the next 3 games. So chances are whenever he returns, the series still, won't be over, okay? Here's what I would tell you. I'm not going to go as far as saying that he needs to win all 3 games. He definitely needs to win 2 of them. There's no excuse for him to lose 2 of 3 or all 3 games in this series against the Golden State Warriors. But it's one of those scenarios where we're talking about Jimmy Buckets. We're talking about a 4-time champion in Draymond Green, who, let's pause for a second. This is the brother that opened his mouth, said we're going to win the championship, and then in the biggest games in the playoffs, this brother has shown up. And I've religiously stated that if the Draymond Green that showed up in Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, when LeBron James was given that stimulus package by the league in terms of getting Draymond suspended for that Game 5, and then Bogut and Iguodala get hurt, and then obviously they're compromised for the rest of the series. If y'all remember, Draymond dropped like damn near 30, I think about 30 that game, and hit like 7 3-pointers. If Draymond Green shows up and is hitting open perimeter shots, I want to be on the record that the Golden State Warriors could win the championship. They can actually win the championship if that brother's hitting open threes, because people leave him open. And if you leave him open and he's drilling those shots, the Golden State Warriors are a different threat entirely. Having said that, because of how he has stepped up, because of what we know Buckets can do, because of the way Buddy Hield has looked like the reincarnation of Klay Thompson, for crying out loud, it is not beyond the pale that the Golden State Warriors can win another game. And in the event that Steph Curry comes back after Game 4, that the series is tied 2-2. Okay? Or even if, Minnesota's up 3-2 after 5 games. I think we'll see Steph Curry by Game 6. But if you're Ant-Man, here's where it gets interesting. And Perk, I think I'm even going to convince you to agree with me on this one. We didn't believe Ant-Man when he said he didn't want to be the face of the league. What we said was, you don't want the headache off the court. You want to live your life. You don't want to be bothered. But on the court, you don't mind that smoke. We know who he is and how he embraces challenge. He took out Kevin Durant, Book, and Beal, took out Jokic and Murray, okay, lost to Luka and Kyrie before taking out LeBron and Luka, in the first round of these playoffs. And now you got an opportunity to take out Steph and Jimmy Buckets. We know what kind of smoke Anthony Edwards wants on the court. He probably doesn't want to be the face of the league because of the off-the-court responsibilities that come with it, and he wasn't ready to have that microscope on his life. Fair enough. But if he loses, like if Steph Curry don't even have to come back, and the Golden State Warriors manage to take Minnesota out without him, that is egregious. And everything that we have been saying about Anthony Edwards goes out the window. Now we believe him. You really didn't want to be the face. You really didn't want this. Because there's no excuse for this Minnesota Timberwolves team, with the way Julius Randle has been playing, the way Jaden McDaniels has been playing, the way Rudy Gobert and the kind of impact he had leading into this series, okay? What you've seen from them. If Ant-Man is that dude, there is no way in hell you lose 2 games or more to the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry. If that happens and you're looking the way that he looked in game 1, then we believe him. Oh, you didn't want it. You really weren't lying. You really didn't want it. Because there's no reason. There's no way. I don't give a damn. Look, Jimmy Buckets is that dude. The brother special. Draymond Green, he was my defensive player of the year. He got my vote, okay? I look at Podziemski and Hield and the way that they've been playing. And Steve Kerr is one of the top 6 greatest coaches in the history of basketball. There's nothing to debate here. We understand who they are. But if you're Ant-Man, you can't look the way that you looked in game 1. If that happens and they end up losing this series without Steph Curry, we won't look at Ant-Man the same. As young as he is, even at 23, we will hold on to that for a very long period of time because it will go against everything that he has represented on the basketball court in his short yet relatively illustrious career. We expect more. We expect him to exploit and take advantage of the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry, and he damn well had better do it.
Good segue to the next topic where we're talking about some of his old teammates. The Knicks had a very busy offseason. They acquired Karl Anthony Towns from Minnesota as part of a 3-team trade. New York sent a package to Minnie in return that included Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. Then on the eve of the NBA draft, the Knicks got Mikal Bridges from Brooklyn in exchange for a package that included 5 first-round picks. Bridges went on to play in all 82 regular season games this year. Then there's Isaiah Hartenstein. Left the Knicks after agreeing to a 3-year, $87 million deal with the Thunder. Hartenstein was one of just 3 players in the NBA last season with at least 85 blocks and 85 steals. Stephen A., have the Knicks silenced criticism as we dance to Go New York, Go New York, Go on their off-season wheeling and dealing, which at the time in this city was very controversial?
Yeah, let me tell you something, Peter. I didn't hear the damn question because that's the longest ass intro into a question I've ever had on First Take.
I wrote it.
But that's okay, Peter. That's okay. Ain't nothing but love for you. Ain't nothing but love for you, right? That's a long ass intro. That's a long. You want your TV time, you got it, okay? But that's all right. That's okay. Here's the deal, Peter. Here's the deal. The Karl Anthony Towns deal, you got to continue to play well because of the way Julius Randle has looked in Minnesota. Like we talked about, his game has elevated in the postseason. We never saw Julius Randle play like that as a New York Knick in the postseason. Okay, the way he's looked thus far. So I got that part. Here's where it gets interesting. Mikal Bridges, you gave up 5 first-round picks. 4 of them unprotected. Plus a swap. Plus a second-rounder. That's a lot. Especially when you consider the fact that the Lakers didn't have to come close to giving anything like that up. Not that they could have, but they didn't have to come close to giving anything like that up for Luka Doncic. So, knowing that you did this for a dude who has never been an all-star, that's a lot. That's a lot. And especially when you consider the fact that it potentially gets in the way of you being able to go out and get somebody like a Giannis. Because you don't have the assets. You see what I'm saying? So looking at it from that perspective, and put Perk on the screen, please. Looking at it from that perspective, it doesn't look great until last night when we saw Mikal Bridges show up in the fourth quarter the way that he did. Now, if you